This is the Dog Sitter's House podcast. Hello there, dog lovers. Welcome back to the Dog Sitter's House podcast. Today, I am going to discuss one of the questions I receive most often, and that is, how do you take time off? If you are a dog walker, a dog sitter, a pet sitter, in-home dog boarding and daycare business, it doesn't matter. Chances are you are having trouble taking time off if you are trying to earn so much X amount of money. If you're trying to make a good living in today's economy, you're probably working your tail off, pun intended. And what does this lead us to? This leads us, the business owner, to constantly scrambling to be able to squeeze people in so we don't lose that booking, so we don't lose that money. And whether it's ourselves doing it or a team doing it, we still have to make sure we always have somebody on hand to do it. That means if somebody calls off sick on your team and is all of a sudden absent for an entire week, you are the one who has to make it up. If you don't have an entire system in place already as to how to handle people calling off at the last minute without it being you coming in to save the day, then guess what? That means the busier you get, the more clients that you get, the less time you will have off. So what is a really common solution that most people end up doing? And it works. Okay, maybe, I guess. I never found much success in it, but a lot of people are doing it. I don't know that they are necessarily thrilled about that solution, but it's somewhat of a solution. It provides a little bit more relief, but it comes with a sacrifice. That solution is blocking a weekend off every single month, maybe. That's a very common solution I see where people say, oh, I can't take this anymore. I have people calling off all the time. I am booked all the time. I can't say no. I want to make sure I earn enough income. I don't know if I'm going to have enough income coming in the future, so I have to take all I can get every time I can get it, right? And that just leads you down a path of complete and utter burnout. You become literally overworked and underpaid because to work that hard, to hustle all of the time, you deserve a lot more money. So, how do we find the balance? How do you find a way to actually take time off regularly without sacrificing income? Not to mention, if you just block off a weekend every single month that you're going to take off and not book yourself, but you have employees who are booked that weekend for clients and they call off sick, guess what? There goes your weekend off. There goes your weekend plans if you were trying to do something with the family or friends. If you want to save face with a client and not get a bad review, possibly damaging your potential business in the future, then you're going to hop in and do it. And that's completely understandable. I would too. I've been there. I've done that too. So what do you do? What do you do if you're not going to block off a weekend every single month to get time off? Well, first, before we dive into that, let me ask you, is a weekend off a month really enough time for you to recharge? Really enough time for you to spend with loved ones? Is one weekend a month really enough time to truly take care of yourself so that you fill your cup back up in order to take care of other people's dogs and cats? I don't know about you, but my answer to that is heck no. I need more than 2 days and one evening off every single month, okay? And at first it was like, okay, I can do this a lot because I love what I'm doing. It doesn't feel like work. But eventually you get to the point where it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel like work, you're drained because you are going, 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 and you never stop. And if you're going, 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 never stopping for 3/4 of the entire month, every single month after month, then it's going to catch up to you. So I do not believe that blocking one weekend off a month is the best solution. To me, the best solution is a solution that gives me the peace of mind that I'm going to earn enough income from month to month so that I don't feel like I have to say yes to every single booking request. The best solution is something that's going to decrease, not increase, my paperwork, my invoicing, my scheduling. Something that streamlines the process so smoothly that it actually eliminates items off of my to do list. And most of all, the best solution is going to give me an entire way of working my business that I can rely on with or without employees and without the burnout accompanying it. So, what is this almighty solution I speak of? Is it possible? Well, I am here to tell you that it absolutely is. And this may sound like a hyperbole, like an exaggeration, like too good to be true. And I get that. I totally understand that because when I was in your shoes at the point of complete and utter exhaustion with not knowing where to go from there in order to keep the business alive without killing myself in the meantime, I would have never thought that this simple solution could have been the fix to it all. But here's the deal. If you continue to operate your business the same way you have been, how long will it be before you crash and burn for good? How long will it be before you decide to close up your business because you simply cannot take it any longer? Now, I'm going to guess that you did a lot of the things I did when I started my business, which was to take a page from the other businesses' books. I would look at other boarding and daycare facilities like kennels and see how they operated. As a pet sitter going into clients' homes, you might do the same thing. How do other pet sitters operate? How do other dog walkers operate? The problem with that solution is that the majority of these pet professionals are experiencing the same challenges, the same burnout, the same issues that you are already. So, why would you copy their business model and do things the same way they do and expect a different result? It's not like other business owners. Okay, if you owned like a little boutique, say, of cute clothes and knickknacks or home items or something, and you come into the store and you hardly got any sleep because you've been working your tail off for weeks, months on end, never taking a day off, and you're just exhausted, and you come in and you make a mistake and you mischarge a customer or you put the wrong price tag on the wrong item or something. Nobody's going to die over that. Nobody's going to care about that 30 days from now, right? But if you lose a dog or one gets bit, the consequences become a lot bigger. This is why it is so important to implement a system that makes sure you are going to get the recharge time that you need. When I got fed up and frustrated enough with it all that I was finally like, I can't do this anymore. It's either quit and go find a job, or I have to figure out a better way to do things. And when I asked, how can I do this in a way so that I get ample recharge time on a regular basis, whether I have employees or not? And really, the solution I came up with is not some, Elon Musk inventive idea. All I did was become cognitive of other business models and how they operated and the benefits and the pros and cons to those business models. And when I became conscious of all the different type of business models out there. And I am not talking about business models in the pet industry. I'm looking at business models of every type of business out there. I started looking at how other business owners ran their businesses, and it didn't matter if they were a digital business owner, if they were a plumber, an electrician, a real estate agent, you name it. I was looking at how they run their business, what their business structure is. And I finally figured out that the best business structure and model that I could steal from other industries and apply to my dog boarding and daycare business was a model that gave me a recurring revenue system. Because a recurring revenue system for your dog walking, drop ins, or dog daycare business is the only way to make six figures without the burnout. Most pet professionals, and possibly you, are operating on a one time service basis, meaning somebody books you for a dog walk or pet sitting or doggy daycare. Even large kennels and doggy daycares can do this. So people book you for one day, right? They book you for one night, whatever it is, or 2 nights or 3 nights, whatever it is. And then you have to make sure you get somebody else to book additional nights the next week and additional days the next week and the next month and the next week and the next month. And it's this just constant chasing the tail. That pun was not intended. Just came up with that one. But it's this constant chasing the tail of finding new customers or getting old customers to book again, leaving you in this financial distress all the time of always trying to hustle to get more money coming in to make sure you make enough money so that you can pay the bills every single month. This leaves you feeling like a gerbil on a wheel because you're constantly spinning your wheels, but you're never able to get ahead. You're not able to get ahead financially at the same time you get ahead on your sleep or recharge time. You might be bringing in the dough, but it's at a cost. And that cost eventually can cost you everything. And see, that's the problem. We enter this business like an employee, like we are the employee of our client. Our client has hired us to do a service, so therefore we're the employee. Okay, makes sense. Totally get it. I did the exact same thing. I had the exact same mindset. It's a natural perspective to take, as I am the employee because they hired me to do this. Now, you might not consciously be thinking I'm an employee. You might be thinking I'm the business owner, but you act like an employee. They say, I need you now. And you say, when? And you're there. It doesn't matter if you were busy. It doesn't matter if you had to climb a mountain to squeeze them in. It doesn't matter if you are giving up sleep or the one day off that you planned on taking. You're jumping at everything your client asks for because you are acting like an employee instead of a business owner. Until you start actually acting like a business owner who sets processes and structures in place so that your business is sustainable with or without you, or without you working 100% of the time, then you are always going to be struggling just like an employee, just like a gerbil in a wheel. When you start acting like a business owner and you put the right structures in place, such as the recurring revenue system I implemented in my doggy boarding and daycare business, you create predictability. You don't just create predictability financially, you create predictability for your schedule. And this is where it starts to come into play to allow you more time off regularly. Now you don't have to spend the majority of your time away from taking care of the pets, searching for new clients, searching for new bookings, hustling for that booking. I see so many people on Facebook who are pet sitters, and I don't know how they do it, honestly. Every single post that is put on this group from a pet owner asking somebody for dog sitting services, they are on it. There's like multiple people that are on it and they're on every single post. They're like, I'll do it. I'll do it. You can reach me. I'm available, blah, 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 whatever. I do dog sitting and they're on every single post. And we are talking people who are posting at all hours of the day, every day. And I'm like, you have to be completely attached to your phone 24/7 in order to constantly be hustling for new business. And I don't know about you, but I do my best to get off of my phone as much as possible, especially if I'm trying to take some time off. Then on the financial side, because that is so much more predictable, it makes it easier to manage your expenses, to manage your employees, to manage your payroll, and to grow with a lot more confidence and ease. Think of your six-figure and beyond business as building a strong and stable house or doghouse. Let's say a doghouse, right? You are going to build the foundation on a reliable, recurring revenue system rather than building and rebuilding a house of cards with each individual booking. There is no foundation in having to continuously rebook people, find people to rebook with you, or find new business. However, if you have a consistent, recurring, repeat business coming in, you know that your foundation is solid, is reliable, is dependable, is predictable, which means you have more structure in your business. And when you have more structure in your business, you have more freedom in your life. Having a recurring revenue system in place for my daycare visitors means that they are committing to regular visits. They choose how often and when based on when I'm open. Yeah, will I be flexible and have them switch it up sometimes if they have something come up that they can't make it that day? Sure, absolutely, I will be flexible with them because I can do that on a rare occasion compared to every single day. Now, because they are committing to a certain number of days per week or per month, then I know I can count on that money coming in. I'm not hassling and fooling around with keeping track of how many days they've used in their daycare packages. You don't have to mess around with people asking, "Oh, can you walk my dog tomorrow?" at the last minute. You don't have to mess around with people saying, "Oh, I can't have you walk my dog tomorrow. Actually, can you change that to Thursday instead of Tuesday?" And at the last minute, 10 o'clock at night, the night before Tuesday, you don't have to deal with this constant changing of your schedule. Not to mention, now you don't have to worry about whether you had someone staffed to take care of that client and having to reschedule them or find them other work so that they can actually make the income that they need to rely on. And when you know how much is coming in financially every single month based on your recurring revenue systems, which, by the way, there is a lot of caveats that go into this. And this is why I'm going to do a free training on a recurring revenue system, how it will benefit you in ways you never even imagined, because I didn't even imagine it until I did it. And then I saw all of the benefits that I didn't even see beforehand. And I haven't even gotten into the benefits for your customers. There's so many benefits for your customers. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, my customers aren't going to like that, they can go to Susie Smith down the road and get one single dog walk. They don't have to commit to being a member or anything. Yeah, and guess what? They also don't have a reliability with Susie Smith because Susie Smith might be too busy when they call up at 8 o'clock the night before asking for a dog walk the next day. And Susie Smith is constantly sending them invoices or reminders to send their Venmo, right? Constantly interacting, constantly interrupting their days and texting them. Whereas you don't have to do any of that. You have minimal customer service with this, minimal customer contact, so you don't have to communicate nearly as often. I'd say it literally cut my communication down with my customers by like 75%. I would spend every evening for 2 or 3 hours on my phone, getting back to all my customers via text, not even counting during the day when I was able to slip in text messages. So, I all of a sudden had my evenings free because I wasn't doing that. The dogs were worn out, they were sleeping, they were all conked out because we just had a big, fun, exciting, active day. And I could actually sit back and relax and eat a hot dinner and watch a movie or something. It was amazing. You might be thinking, April, there's no way I could implement a recurring revenue system when I barely have any repeat clients already. And I totally get it because you're thinking, how in the world do I get repeat business when I don't have repeat business? It seems counterintuitive to offer a membership when people are only purchasing your services on a one off basis. I mean, let's face it, you're focused on attracting any customer, much less repeat customers at this point, right? And that's the beauty of this system. Not only can you convert recurring customers into your new business model, but you can also attract new customers directly into this business model. So you don't have to worry about having to convert them in the future. So, really, it could be an easier switch for you than if you already had a dozen or more repeat customers. In either case, whether you're converting current repeat customers or attracting new customers into your model, you are selling the benefits of joining your membership, all of the bells and whistles that they receive because they come into your membership. You will need a clear process for attracting these clients and the membership structure and pricing and a service that makes it easy for them to say yes, requiring you to have a fabulous marketing system in order to do this. Again, this is why I'm going to offer a free training on all of the bells and whistles you need to have in place to set up a recurring system and the benefits of it for you and your customers. For example, one thing I'll cover are ways that you can get people enrolled into your membership. You, for example, could offer a free trial, right? A free trial period so that they see how amazing it is. They get to experience how it is to work with you, to use your services for their dog to be with you, and decide from there, making it hard for them to say no because the service is so amazing. I'm going to show you in this free training how you can position it so that the customers see it as better for them than a competitor's. Because if you continue to focus on attracting one off customers and hoping that they become repeat customers, you'll remain in a reactive and unpredictable cycle. You'll constantly be chasing new bookings. However, by proactively enrolling people into a membership model, you create a stable foundation for recurring revenue and the ability to take time off. For example, for me, I do my recurring revenue system with my daycare services. Now I know exactly how much I'm going to be bringing in each month for daycare services alone. Then I can calculate how many boarding bookings I need to have per month in order to bring in the minimum amount of income that I desire each and every single month. So, for example, when I first started doing this, I literally only needed like 12 nights of boarding per month. I had so many daycare visitors enrolled in my membership. I knew that I was going to make a certain amount of money every single month. And all I needed to do was book 12 nights of boarding in 1 month. Now, that could be one dog for 12 nights, or it could be two dogs for 6 nights, or it could be four dogs for 3 nights. It didn't matter. But once I had at least 12 nights booked for boarding on the calendar, I can say no to the rest of the boarding requests if I want to so that I can have more time off, so that I can have evenings free. Say I had two dogs here and each dog was booked for 6 nights. That would fulfill my 12 nights. Now, let's just say, because it's not a perfect world, let's say, worst case scenario, that those 6 nights for each dog were on 2 different weeks. So that means that basically for 2 weeks out of the month, I would have one dog boarding per night. Okay, that means the obvious, right? Those other 2 weeks, I don't have any boarders. When I don't have daycare, which is only 3 days a week, or when I close for daycare at 6:30 p.m. at night, I'm off. I am off. Yeah, I might do some paperwork or scheduling or customer service or whatever, but it's very minimal because my recurring revenue system takes care of most of that. But I have 2 weeks free if I want that every single month now. I know that. Not to mention, now if I have one dog here for 6 nights for 2 weeks in a row, how easy is that? I mean, I used to have 8 to 10 dogs here overnight almost on a regular basis, pulling my hair out of my head, going crazy because I couldn't even walk through my own house without worrying about stepping on somebody constantly. So, having one dog here really to me is like a night off because it is so easy that I could do it with my eyes closed. And chances are, if you do pet sitting in the client's home and dog walking, and you set your dog walking services up as a recurring revenue system, and your overnights are for you and any employees that you have, you no longer have to worry about getting as many overnight bookings as you possibly can and finding people to serve those overnight bookings. If you know all you need to do is 12 in one month, then you can easily do 12 nights in one month and have all of the other nights free for the rest of your month. It's really a no brainer. It helps make it so that you can actually decide how many overnights you want to book, how many boardings you want to book, whatever it is you do. So if you do drop ins, daycare, or dog walking, you can set up a recurring revenue system. And then all of your other services can be the icing on the cake, allowing you to cut back on those services and give yourself regular, consistent, and ample time off. Now, of course, this also depends on your pricing. Your rates have to be right in order to make this work for you. But that is what's great about this system is you can play with the numbers using my calculator that I have. It's a plug and play calculator. You just type your numbers and information into the spreadsheet and you can decide what works best for you, what price point you need to be at so that you can only book 12 overnights a month, for example, right? So that you can figure out how many members you need in your recurring revenue system so that you can take less overnights. But talking about getting your pricing right is a completely different episode, which I'll put at the end of this video so you can click on it and see it next. So, really, the choice is yours. You can continue blocking off one weekend a month and then changing your mind and saying, okay, when someone asks for that weekend after all, because you never know if you're going to get enough bookings the next month. Or you can have a recurring revenue system that gives you the solid financial and schedule predictability that you need on a regular basis in order to take the time off that you need to recharge effectively and be the best pet center, dog walker that you can possibly be day in and day out. So, if you're interested in learning more about this recurring revenue system that you can implement into your daycare, your drop ins, or your dog walking services so that allows you time off on a regular basis, as well as a consistent and reliable income while cutting back on your overnights, then make sure you sign up on the link in the description of this video. It's completely free workshop. It's going to be be an experience. It's not just going to be me talking to you with a bunch of slides. It's going to be an experience. We're going to get you to dive in deep to overcome some of the blockages that would prevent you from taking that leap of trying something new, of stepping out of your comfort zone, which is what always keeps us trapped in what's not working. And let me leave you with this. You either get what you want or you get what you need. So you can keep spinning your wheels doing the same thing over and over and not getting what you want, but getting what you need. And what you need is a new system. What you need is to think out of the box. What you need is to try something new. So sign up on my priority list to be the first to know when the date will be, and I'll help you stop being overworked and underpaid. And until next time, happy tales to you. Hey guys, real quick, I just wanted to say I have been doing this for a year. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. We just passed our 1 year anniversary of putting out a weekly podcast. I missed like 2 or 3. I missed last week because my grandmother of 97 years old passed away. So things were a little crazy for me. Did you know that 75 to 90% of people who start podcasts fail to continue doing it within the first year? They stop doing it or they can't do it consistently for an entire year, even. So I'm proud to say I made it a year and I plan on making it another year. So do me a favor and hit subscribe. Majority, 70 to 80% of people who watch our videos don't hit subscribe. So do me that favor, hit subscribe. Help me make sure all the effort I've been putting into this is actually getting in front of other pet professionals like yourself who are in need of how to grow their business without growing their workload. And if you found the information in this video helpful, I would appreciate a thumbs up too.